You wake up, look in the mirror, and your face looks like it belongs to a completely different person than the one who went to bed last night. Puffy, swollen, soft around the jaw, eyes that look half closed. And the frustrating part is, you can't figure out what's causing it or how to fix it fast. Here's what most guys don't realize. A bloated, puffy face isn't just about body fat. Two guys at the exact same body fat percentage can look completely different in the face. One sharp and defined, one soft and swollen. Because facial puffiness and facial fat are two completely different things. One is structural, the other is temporary, driven by fluid retention, inflammation, and a handful of daily habits that most guys don't connect to their face at all. This video is about the temporary kind, the kind you can actually do something about, starting today. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's causing it and exactly what to change to start waking up with a sharper, more defined face consistently. Let's get into it. The first thing to understand is what facial bloating actually is at a physical level. Because once you understand the mechanism, the fixes make complete sense instead of feeling like random wellness advice. Facial puffiness is almost always fluid retention. Your body is holding excess water in the tissue around your face, under your eyes, along your jaw, in your cheeks. And that retained fluid is what creates the soft, swollen appearance. Your face isn't fatter, it's waterlogged. Your body retains fluid in your face for a handful of specific reasons. High sodium intake draws water into your tissue. Alcohol dehydrates your body, which paradoxically causes it to hold water in response. Poor sleep causes cortisol and inflammatory markers to rise, which increases fluid retention. Allergies and histamine responses cause localized swelling. And certain sleeping positions trap fluid in your face overnight instead of allowing it to drain. The good news is, every single one of those causes is something you control. The less good news is, most guys are doing several of them simultaneously, without connecting any of them to their face. Let's go through them one by one. Sodium is the biggest driver of facial puffiness for most men, and it's almost always coming from processed food, rather than the salt shaker. Sodium's job in your body is to regulate fluid balance. When sodium intake spikes, a takeaway the night before, a bag of crisps, fast food, heavily processed meals, your body retains water to dilute that sodium back to a safe concentration. That retained water goes everywhere, including your face. And the effect is usually most visible the morning after the high sodium meal, which is why so many guys wake up puffy after eating badly the night before without understanding the connection. The fix here is not eliminating sodium. You need it. It's essential. The fix is reducing it from processed sources and replacing those meals with whole food alternatives where the sodium level is actually manageable. Within 2 to 3 days of consistently lower sodium intake, most guys notice a visible change in facial definition. The fluid drops, the jaw sharpens, the eyes open up. It's one of the fastest visible changes available to you, and it requires no training, no products, and no complicated routine. Alcohol deserves its own section because it affects your face through multiple pathways at the same time, and most guys severely underestimate how much it's costing them in this area. First, alcohol is a diuretic. It makes you lose more fluid than you're taking in, which dehydrates you. Your body responds to dehydration by holding water more aggressively, particularly in your face. Second, alcohol disrupts your sleep quality. Even if you fall asleep easily after drinking, you get far less deep sleep and more disrupted rest throughout the night. And poor sleep is itself a major driver of facial puffiness through cortisol and inflammation. Third, alcohol is directly inflammatory. It triggers an inflammatory response that causes visible facial swelling and redness for up to 24 hours after drinking. Stack all three together, and you understand why a night of drinking leaves your face looking noticeably worse the next morning. And why guys who drink regularly often have a baseline level of facial puffiness that they've just come to accept as their normal face, when it isn't. Reducing alcohol frequency is one of the highest impact changes a guy can make for facial definition. Not necessarily eliminating it, but being honest about what it's actually doing to your appearance every single time. Sleep is the next one, and this is the area most guys address last when it should probably be addressed first. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more cortisol and more inflammatory compounds. Both contribute directly to fluid retention and facial puffiness. There's also a circulation component. During deep sleep, your lymphatic system, the network responsible for draining excess fluid from your tissue, is most active. Cut your sleep short, and that drainage process gets cut short with it. The fluid that should have moved out overnight stays in your face well into the next morning. 7 to 8 hours is the target, but quality matters as much as quantity. Alcohol, eating late, screens right before bed, and high stress all degrade sleep quality even when the hours are there. Fixing those things isn't just about energy and mood. It shows up directly in your face the next morning. One specific sleep tip that almost nobody talks about for facial bloating: elevate your head slightly while you sleep. A slightly higher pillow position encourages fluid to drain away from your face overnight rather than pooling there. If you wake up puffy almost every single morning regardless of what you ate or drank, try adding an extra pillow for a week and pay attention to how your face looks first thing. Now let's talk about the active things you can do in the morning to speed up facial drainage, because some of these work within minutes, not weeks. Cold water on your face first thing causes your blood vessels to narrow, which immediately reduces the appearance of puffiness. This is why splashing cold water on your face feels so effective in the morning. You're not imagining it, you're physically reducing swelling in real time. For a stronger version, keep a facial roller or a jade roller in the fridge overnight and apply it for 2 minutes along your jaw, under your eyes, and down your neck. This sounds like skincare influencer content, but the mechanism behind it is legitimate. You're physically moving stagnant fluid out of your facial tissue toward your lymph nodes, where it gets processed out of your body. Gently massaging downward along your jaw and neck, toward your collarbone, where your main lymph nodes sit, for 60 to 90 seconds in the morning accelerates this process naturally. You don't need any product, just clean hands, gentle pressure, downward strokes. It takes under 2 minutes, and the difference on a puffy morning is something you can actually see. Drinking water first thing in the morning, before coffee or food, also counterintuitively reduces puffiness. Your body retains fluid most aggressively when it senses scarcity. Hydrating early signals your body that fluid is available and it can let go of what it's been holding overnight. Now, the longer game. Because the morning tools help, but the habits underneath determine your baseline facial definition over weeks and months. Consistent water intake throughout the day is the most underrated one. Chronically underhydrated guys carry a baseline level of puffiness almost all the time because their body is perpetually in conservation mode, holding fluid wherever it can. 2 to 3 liters of water spread consistently across the day, not all at once, genuinely changes how your face looks at baseline after 2 to 3 weeks of staying on it. Processed food reduction goes beyond just sodium. Ultra-processed foods are high in refined carbohydrates, which spike insulin and drive fluid retention. They're high in inflammatory ingredients that your body responds to with low-grade swelling. Replacing even a few processed meals per week with whole foods, meat, eggs, vegetables, fruit, rice, shifts your body's baseline inflammation level in a direction that shows up clearly in your face over time. Exercise drives lymphatic circulation. Your lymphatic system has no pump of its own. It relies entirely on muscle movement and breathing to circulate. Regular movement, even daily walking, keeps lymphatic fluid moving and reduces the stagnation that contributes to facial puffiness. This is part of why guys who train consistently tend to have sharper facial definition at the same body fat level as sedentary guys. It's not just about being leaner, it's about circulation. Your face is one of the first things people notice and one of the last things most guys actually optimize. But the changes here are faster and more visible than almost anything else you can do for your appearance, because you're not building something from scratch. You're removing what's covering what's already there. Start with sodium and sleep this week. Just those two. Check your face in 7 days and compare it to today. If this gave you actual clarity on what's going on and what to do about it, subscribe.